not be able to control a conclusion of an opinion that has been formed about you, but you can determine the possibility of an expected conclusion of you. Hello people, welcome back to my channel. I am Victory Ezeji, your PetiteStyleCoach. I help show women develop and retain her image as well as project sound image to the public. I help her develop and organize her wardrobe as well as pick out outfits that will make her beautiful, feel amazing, and focus on pursuing and achieving her goal. I am on Instagram, I'm on TikTok. Please do want to engage with me in all these platforms that are displayed on the screen because I post daily videos that will help you develop, retain your image, as well as look amazingly sweet in your outfit. Do it, subscribe if you have not, and turn on the post notification bell to know when I post new videos. In today's video, I'm going to be talking about the power of first impression. I'm going to be talking about what is impression, why you may want to utilize the power of first impression, what gives people right to make an impression of you at the first place, the power of self-knowledge, and finally, the power of physical appearance. What is impression? Impression is simply an idea, a feeling, or opinion about something or someone, especially formed on the basis of little evidence. By virtue of this definition, impression usually is formed on the lack of facts, evidence, history, interaction with the person who the impression is being made of, or about, or for, or against. This sounds crazy, right? Well, yes, people are people. With respect to impressions that are formed on the basis of little or no evidence, there must be personal experience because you have no history, you have no interaction, you have no research, you have not heard anything about this person before. For this impression to be created, there must be physical experience. It is okay for me to say now that impressions that are formed on this personal experience basis is usually the strongest kind of impression. I'll give you an illustration. In marketing, people usually study consumer behavior and consumer attitude because it is very necessary to determine the increase in sales or decrease of it. Consumer attitude simply means the evaluation or the learned evaluation a consumer or a customer has of a particular product or has about your product and services. Under consumer attitude, there are so many things that influences consumer attitude, and one of the things that influences consumer attitude, which is regarded as the strongest, is personal experience. So let's say, for instance, it is your first time dealing with a skincare product. Because you're a newbie, you're going to be very skeptical about the vendors or skin vendors. If you're fortunate enough, you get a skincare product vendor who knows her craft and can be able to recommend skincare products for you that will help sort your skin issues, which is why you went after her at the first place. You use the product and you are satisfied. It's going to be really hard for you to seek out another skincare product vendor because you have this subconscious attachment to this person who started this journey with you, and you don't really believe that you will see someone as good as her with her customer service and with her recommendations anywhere else. This also happens when you're unfortunate with a skincare product vendor. First of all, the customer service is wrong or very bad. And second, the product that she recommended for you or she recommends for you is doing a very bad job. First of all, it will change your mind about all the skincare products in the world. It will change your mind concerning anything about skincare products forever if care is not taken. Why? Because personal experience has a stronger hold on us than anything. It has more stronghold than anything you read online. It has more stronghold than anything someone tells you or anything your sister tells you or anything anyone tells you. It has a stronger hold on you, and you are very conscious with that decision. You're conscious about it because you're prepared to pull it out anywhere you want to make your argument and say, no, skincare products are not for you. That is the power of personal experience. Back to what I was talking about. Impression that is created on the basis of personal experience is further subdivided into personal experience based on observance and personal experience based on interaction. For impressions based on experience by observance and impression based on experience by interaction, one dominates the other. In fact, one determines the possibility of the other one happening, and that is impression based on personal experience by observance. The success of this particular impression based on personal experience by observance determines whether you're going to be given an opportunity or a chance to speak up, to determine or to create an impression based on personal experience by interaction. Where the opportunity for you to speak up to actually create another impression in that person is slim, you may want to utilize the maximum impression based on personal experience by by observers. I'm going to also say here that impressions based on personal experience by observers is what is called first impression. First impression is that impression that is created by simply observing the person whom you're creating this impression out of. Now, the ability of that impression based on personal experience by observance to provide you the opportunity to prove yourself in the other second half of the impression that is created by interaction is what is called the power of first impression. So the next subtopic in our video, why you may want to utilize the power of first impression. You already know that impression is an opinion or idea, a feeling that someone has about something that is formed or especially formed on the basis of little or no evidence. Now, you may ask, what gives people right to make an impression out of you at the first place? Please do not forget the subtopic of what we are talking about right now, why you may want to utilize the power of first impression. What gives people the right to make an impression of you at all? Well, we are a community of people. The society is made up of people that have values and have beliefs. Generally, the society lives according to norms, according to certain values. I mean, that is what makes a society unique. Consciously, generally, we usually project these values and beliefs on other people. Let's take, for instance, in a rural, remote area in the village, we usually see a community of people who have tradition, who have a way of life. They believe that they are expected to act, behave, do things in a certain way that is accepted by their custom, that is accepted by their tradition. Failure to do that brings the wrath of the gods. Sometimes people question the validity or the truth or the rationality rather to the idea of gods punishing people because they choose to be different or they choose not to behave or to act according to their customs. Well, it is actually wise to not disregard people's belief, no matter how irrational you think or how vague you think it is. It is wise that you do not disregard people's belief. Let's go back to an Hollywood illustration. So when a stranger comes to their village, when a stranger comes to their land, they usually inspect the attitude of this stranger, which usually does not conform to their traditions. And you usually see the elders, when a stranger says something like arrow, if you're not Igbo, it means abomination. Arrow simply means that this particular art, we don't know it, we're not used to it, it is not our way, it is not our tradition. And that simply is impression. So like I've already pointed out, it is wise not to disregard people's belief. It is wise not to disregard people's values. You do not know who you will meet. You don't know who you're going to encounter in the future or who you're even encountering presently. So disregarding their beliefs is actually very disrespectful to them as a person. Every society is governed by beliefs. Every society is governed by values. That is what makes a society unique. That is what makes you unique. If you don't have values, it is regarded that you do not have a strong sense of self. Commonly, values and beliefs are supposed to vary, are supposed to differ. It's not universal. When it comes to personal, it depends. It's usually not universal, but it is wise to not dismiss or disregard people's beliefs. So to answer this question, what gives people the right? What gives people the right to make an impression of you is their beliefs. Their belief, their values, societal and personal values. So if you understand what actually gives people the right to make an impression of you, what gives people the guts to make an impression of you, if you understand that and utilize it, how do you do this? If you're going to a place for the first time, you do a research on them, do a research on what they believe, do a research on their value. If you do this and utilize it to the maximum, you definitely, I guarantee you, will make a formidable lasting first impression. So the next question that may arise from this particular one is, does it mean that I have to conform to the expected impression people have of me? This might be the question running through your head right now. Does it mean I have to always conform to what people want to believe of me or what people want to see from me? My love, the answer is no. We need to understand that we interact with people, and as long as we interact with people, people will always form an opinion about who we are. And this opinion they form about us, about our personality, may either be positive or negative, which we may or may not have influenced. So I know this may sound worrisome or scary. You don't have to be scared. Whenever people see you, you leave an impression on this person. And like I've said, it can either be a positive impression or negative impression about who you are. While you cannot control whether this impression is positive or negative, you can actually determine whether it would be positive or negative. How to do this is by the power of self-knowledge. This simply means that you intuitively just know that whatever it is that will be left of this person, that it will be how you expected it, or it will be an impression you expected that this person will create out of your personality. So you cannot do this if you don't have a strong sense of self. Strong sense of self simply means that you know yourself. You know what pushes you. You know what infuriates you. You know what you value. You know what you adore. You know your impulses. Let me give you an illustration of what I mean. By just knowing the impression you will leave off. You're in a company of friends. A girl comes in and cuts you guys' attention, and then all of you are either saying one thing or the other about this person. She looks sassy. She looks classy. She looks bossy. I want you to understand that impression takes seconds to make. You all are there forming an opinion about her. She's classy, she's sassy, she's bossy, and all that. You guys have arrived at an opinion of what you all believe to be her personality. This girl, she does not know that you people have formed this opinion about her. In fact, you people formed an opinion on her behalf. She has never met you people before. She has never seen you people in her entire life. But you have made an impression out of her. This particular girl has caught your attention and you've in fact made an impression out of. She may actually know that she comes across as bossy. She comes across as sassy. Why the lady may not control what influenced you guys to actually make the impression in the first place, or the conclusion you people finally arrive, she can determine the possibility of unexpected conclusion. She can do this by knowing herself. If she knows that she comes across as classy, she definitely will know that she has left such impression on you or on your girls. How can you determine this? Having a strong sense of self, or having a sense of self at the first place, is knowing who you are, knowing your values, knowing your beliefs, knowing what drives you, knowing your impulses, knowing your wants, knowing what you like and dislike. You respect yourself, you respect the traits and the values about yourself. You respect the values that you actually use in communicating with others. Respect the values that drive your relationship with others. Erica rightly pointed out, she said that having a developed sense of self is hugely beneficial in making choices in life. Knowing yourself and knowing what comes from others will make you live authentically. It is only when you are aware of who you are, it is only when you're aware of your self-image, that is when you can align it to your public image. And when you successfully do that, you'll be able to effectively communicate your self-image to others. You will intuitively, you will just know automatically the conclusion of the opinion people has formed about you based on the impression you've left on them. When you're satisfied with the impression you've actually left up, this means that the conclusion actually matches your expectation. Then there's no need to worry, because people, like I've said, will always make an impression about you. So the importance of this is you know yourself, so you don't get thrown off when people make an impression about you. So when it aligns with what you expected, then it's not a problem. It is actually very important for you to align yourself, your personal image, to your public image. So whenever people make an impression of you, you will not be shocked about it. It's also very important that such image is not harmful to you and to people you love you and people you love. Where a conclusion is actually in line with your expectation, you have created a good impression. You have created a formidable, lasting impression. That is the power of self-knowledge. The next thing we'll be talking about is using the power of physical appearance to create formidable first impression. I have clearly pointed out what impression is about, and I also explained questions that may arise from the explanations I gave that led to us talking about the power of self-knowledge. Now we are going to be talking about the power of physical appearance and how to utilize it to create formidable first impression. It's actually very important to note that impressions based on personal experience is hugely dependent on physical appearance. On percentage, physical appearance holds a huge sum of 80%, while character, intelligence holds 20%. Impression based by personal experience by observant, like I've also said in this video, is hugely by observation. How you look, how you dress, how you gesture, how you do things, not basically what comes out of you. This impression is not on the basis of your intelligence. It's not on the basis of what you know. It's not on the basis of your skill. It's on the basis of how you look. And that is why physical appearance is very important to know how to utilize it to make formidable first impression. Let me use this illustration. You may have caught yourself looking at a lady or looking at a guy, this hot chick in school or this hot guy in school. What caught your attention in that split of seconds is physical appearance. You may also have heard about how a girl or how a lady caught the attention of all the persons in a room, especially in a social event like a dinner. You hear statements like, she actually made heads roll, she made heads turn with her outfit and all that. That is physical appearance. That is the power of physical appearance. Physical appearance is what influences most of the time impression based on personal experience by observant. That is how important and how valuable and how powerful physical appearance is. Your physical appearance involves three things: your dressing, how you carry yourself in that dress, and how you walk in that dress. We already know that you may not be able to control a conclusion of an opinion that has been formed about you, but you can determine the possibility of an expected conclusion of you, or an expected conclusion of an opinion that people have formed about you. And how you do that is by the knowledge of self. Now, the knowledge of self equally influences the ability to utilize your physical appearance to the maximum to give you anything you want or you desire. The sense of self influence physical appearance. So like I said, three things are involved when it comes to physical appearance: your dressing, how you carry yourself in your dress, and how you walk in that dress. So we are going to see how sense of self influences these three things that are involved in physical appearance. Number one, your dressing. Having a developed sense of self simply means that you already have a perception of you. You have aligned your ideal self, what you consider to be perfect, what you embody as perfect in your personality. That ideal self of yours, you've aligned it to the reality, to the real you. And that clear perspective of who you are, with your values, with your beliefs, will make you want to communicate same to others effectively. The reason is there is need for boundary no matter what. There is usually need to create boundaries, to know when this is the time to draw a line. Having a strong sense of self, having a developed sense of self will make you consider the possibilities of the scenarios where you may speak and where you may not be able to speak. Having the knowledge of this, being conscious of these scenarios, will help you know that physical appearance is actually indispensable if you want to communicate your boundaries, if you want to communicate your image to others, if you want to effectively communicate that to others. You know that physical appearance is indispensable. You know that you cannot appear shabbily. You know that you cannot just look anyhow if you want to communicate certain value, if you want to communicate what you actually believe to other people effectively. You're actually conscious of the message your physical appearance through your dressing or through the way you dress sends to others. You consider those areas or those scenarios or the possibility of you not communicating what you actually believe, what you stand for, what your boundaries are verbally. You can use your physical appearance to communicate that effectively. Number two, how you carry yourself in the dress. Choosing a dress and carrying yourself in the dress is very important. In fact, they are indispensable knowledge. You have to know not just the clothes to wear or the clothes to buy, you also have to know how to carry yourself in that clothes or in that dress. How does sense of self influence this? Well, like I said, sense of self enables you to have a clear perception of who you are. You know what you value, you know the traits you adore, you know the traits you uphold. If you uphold the trait of confidence, if you uphold the trait of respect and charisma, you will want to communicate that to others effectively. And how do you do this? You do that with the way you carry yourself in your dress. The way you carry yourself in a dress, no matter how expensive it is very important. If you carry yourself in a way that suggests another thing, no matter how expensive that dress is, it does not make sense. It will not matter at all. If you value confidence, if you uphold confidence, you have to learn how to carry that dress confidently. This means you identify the things that communicate lack of confidence. You understand the things that communicate lack of self-esteem or low self-esteem. You understand the ways that you carry yourself or the ways you walk or the ways you gesture that will communicate something that is not in line with what you believe and what you value. So with respect to that, you have to know how to walk. If you communicate confidence, you will not have to slouch whenever you walk, whenever you sit. Whenever you're walking, don't bite your nails if you communicate confidence, if you communicate high self-esteem. So whenever you walk, you should hold your head high, your shoulders straight, with a graceful smile on your lips. That communicates effectively what your values are to the public. And that is actually what brings about formidable first and last impression. It is said that people value who value themselves. So if you don't value yourself, it can be easily perceived by the public. If you have not seen my video on importance of image projection, please go see it, because I talked about this in a very detailed form. Number 3, how you walk in that outfit. Having a very developed sense of self will help you align your ideal self and your real self. If you believe that women are supposed to be graceful, that graceful women are successful women, you will align this thing to the real you. How do you even communicate this gracefulness that you have believed that is attributed to women is how you work. Women, you and I, are supposed to walk gracefully. You're not supposed to walk anyhow. You're supposed to be conscious of how you walk, and they usually call it catwalk, but then you necessarily don't have to catwalk. So you need to walk with elegance. How to do this is incorporate the same thing you learned in carrying yourself in an outfit. Hold your head high, keep your shoulders straight. But what we're going to be adding in this one is keep your hands to your side. Do not fling your hand. Be very careful, be very conscious of how you move your hand when you walk. And also walk knowing that you are amazingly beautiful. With this knowledge of yourself, you are going to hit that red carpet. You're going to hit whatever room you are on turn head. So utilize these things. You will make a formidable first impression. You may have heard statements like, damn, I can't remove this girl out of my head. It's this meme that's going viral about, can't remove you from my face. Anytime I sleep, I see your face. Whenever I work, I see your face. I don't know whether you've seen that meme, but the reason for this is a formidable physical appearance. If the impression formed on the basis of personal experience by interaction is as solid as the one formed by observance, then you are on your way to achieving your goals. You have mastered the craft of utilizing these things to get anything you want out of people. So we have come to the end of this video, but I'm going to give you all a bonus point to my new subscribers and my old subscribers with respect to this video. It's a recap of everything we've talked about, everything we've seen in this video. It's going to be in bullet points for easy assessment in case you want to go back to this video. The steps to take to utilize power of first impression maximally. How you can maximize the power of first impressions. The steps to take. Number 1, you have to regard people's belief. The basic to creating formidable first impression and how to utilize it is to regard people's values. I have shown you this when we talked about what gives people the right to judge. What gives people right of judgment about you is their beliefs, is their values, is societal values, is communal values and beliefs people have. So this is what they project on you. By virtue of this, they make an impression. It gives them the right to make an impression of you. It is wise not to disregard what people believe on the basis of, I don't care what people think about me. So you should actually care, because this stems from values and beliefs that actually give people right to make judgment about you. So regard people's beliefs. If you're going to a place for the first time, you've never met these people, please, I advise you to do a research on these people. Find out what their values are, find out what their beliefs are, don't disregard it. It is this foundation that you use in building your formidable first impression. Number 2, have a strong sense of self. This was seen when we talked about, do I have to conform to the expectations of people's impressions? Well, you don't have to. You just have to align an expected conclusion with your image. If it aligns, then you don't have anything to worry about. You need to have a strong sense of self to be able to project an image that will enable you to determine conclusion with your image. And if that conclusion aligns with your personality, aligns with your image, then it's fine. You don't have to worry whether it's positive or negative. People will always form opinion about you. Number 3, physical appearance. Always utilize physical appearance. Always utilize it, especially when you're going to be in places where you cannot communicate verbally what you believe, what your boundaries are. Use your dress and use your physical appearance to communicate that. And I have explained the things that are involved in physical appearance. Your dressing, how you carry yourself in your dress, and how you walk in that dress. So that is it for this video. I hope it was valuable. I hope it was informative. Please don't forget to share to your friends. Forget to share this video for people to learn as well as you have. Follow me on Instagram and TikTok and utilize all the information I share in my videos. Apply these 3 steps and I guarantee you that you will make a formidable, lasting first impression. That is it, people. Thank you so much for watching. See you in my next video.